First up this morning, Mattel is one of those iconic brands that everyone with kids instantly appreciates. Many of you probably heard about the transformation of Barbie this year. What you may not have heard about is all of the bold and creative transformation Mattel has undertaken to bring its businesses to a new place. With that, please welcome President and COO of Mattel, Richard Dickson, to the stage.
Holy cow, this is ridiculous. Truly extraordinary. I think I need a Donnie to help me out here. Clearly, I won't be singing, but thank you, John, for that introduction, and all of you at Adobe who welcomed me on behalf of Mattel to tell you the story about what's happening at Mattel, and essentially the transformation that we have in progress. Now, you probably know Mattel by our brands, Barbie, Hot Wheels. These are touching chords, right? Fisher-Price, American Girl. Probably many of you have spent a lot of money in one of my American Girl stores, which we appreciate. There's a lot of history to Mattel. You all probably are part of that history in terms of engaging with our toys early on and maybe buying them for your kids. What you probably don't know is the big hits over the years that Mattel has been in business. One of the biggest hits in 1976. Can anybody tell me what that is? Clearly not, right? But it was the Donny Osmond fashion doll. Come on! And I think Donnie looks just the same 40 years later. Amazing. In fact, I thought Donnie was going to wear that outfit today, but clearly we weren't graced with that presence. Part of Mattel's sort of secret to success is always being on the verge of pop culture and making sure that we're of the moment. There he is. Come on, where's the outfit? Now he's going to make me sing, which is really going to be bad.
What in the world is that?
That's you, man, 40 years ago.
I got a bone to pick with you.
Okay, yeah.
So when Mattel made the Donnie Marie doll, they made a full Marie doll. Do you know what they did to me?
Well, clearly, they did a lot of work on you here.
No, they didn't.
No. They could have worked in the neck.
They made a Donnie head and put it on Ken's body.
Thank you. One of the other things that we continue to do is make sure that we're on top of pop culture, and today we're incredibly excited not only to hear from Abby, but also to share with you that the new Abby doll is going to be coming out this fall, celebrating the accomplishments of truly an amazing female aspirational inspiration for girls all over the world. Something that we're really excited about. So doesn't the toy business seem like fun? I mean, you got Donnie dolls and Abby dolls and Barbie dolls and all sorts of amazing, fun things, right? I should be Tom Hanks in Big, right? I mean, that's the job, that's the gig. But what if you're a 70-year-old company in a 1,000-year-old industry? People have been playing with toys for 1,000 years in a portfolio of legacy brands. I mean, these brands are 70, 60, 50 years old, and kids today are of the moment. One day you're cool, one day you're not. How do you last this long and stay relevant? That makes relevance an incredible challenge, right? And this is that story. This is the story of a remarkable transformation that's in progress, and I'm going to tell it to you in 3 chapters and hopefully in less than 20 minutes. So I'm hoping at the end that it inspires you in your work to help motivate you to stay relevant, to take bold steps, to tell that story in the changing landscape that we're all working and driving in. I believe that in any brand's history, short or long, in order to find the way forward, you have to understand what made you special in the first place. What was that secret sauce, that breakthrough? Was it data? Was it insight? Was it art? Was it invention? So, for Mattel, let's start at the beginning. Now, in the beginning, back 70 years ago in 1945, our founders thought of their business not as a toy company, as a creations company. It was a great American, started in a garage company that was design-led before anybody ever knew what that meant. Our founders weren't toy people. They were designers and inventors. And their world at that time was an amazing hive of creativity and invention in post-war California, and a place where incredible things happened in garages. Hewlett-Packard, Apple, the Beach Boys, just to name a few. But the first big idea to come out of Ruth and Elliot Handler's garage wasn't a toy. It was a mindset, a conviction that taking bold risks on insightful and thoughtful and innovative ideas would delight children, and as a result, build a business. And it worked. We transformed the simple paper fashion doll. This is what girls played with before 1959. We transformed this idea into an iconic representation of the possibilities of all girls could imagine. It was a breakthrough brand at the time that Barbie was brought into the market. We reinvented the toy car as a cultural phenomenon by infusing it with revolutionary design, aspiration, and speed. We invented Hot Wheels. Now, besides the products that we invented, we also took bold moves and we looked beyond traditional marketing, which at the time was basically ROP, or the newspaper. And our founders bet everything on a revolutionary new medium, television. There wasn't any data to tell them it was going to work, but they believed in the power of this new medium to engage kids with brands long before anybody ever talked about your content strategy. It's difficult for us to imagine, but television was a wild new experiment when Mattel became one of the first consistent national advertisers more than 60 years ago. And our founders, they didn't simply run commercials. They formed a partnership with another Southern California entrepreneur named Walt Disney. Now, somehow I think Walt Disney and the Disney Company did a lot better than Mattel, starting around the same time. But Mattel's practice of working collaboratively with co-created, like-minded innovators continues and is the foundation and the DNA of the company today. Now, while we quickly became #1 in our industry, we worked hard to avoid the complacency of acting like a #1. Soon, Mattel outgrew its garage, but we retained the mindset of the garage. We acted a behavior that worked like a leader and think like a challenger. We were an unstoppable company, obsessed with creating the future. And we did, with decades of huge, innovative hits that revolutionized our industry. You know some of these toys: 8-Ball, He-Man, that electronic football, that sound probably sticks in your mind if you grew up with it. The various different Cabbage Patch dolls, all these things are stories in the making, have memories that last a lifetime, and were innovative and revolutionized the industry. But at some point, we stopped looking into the future as we had before. We became nearsighted, failing to recognize how fast our business was changing. Toys, the simple toy, had become global intellectual property. Play was seen through the prism now of child development. It's not just good enough to play. We have to play with purpose, right? I mean, as soon as they come out of the womb, we have to teach them so that they get to the steps of Harvard. You know what I'm saying is true. The competition that we were experiencing extended far beyond toy companies. We were up against media companies, technology companies. All of a sudden, everyone was competing for time. And a world based on 30-second TV spots had evolved into an omni-channel universe. The business was changing for the simple reason that play was changing, with toys, media, games, content converging seamlessly in kids' minds. We repeated what worked instead of fearing the status quo. We mistook acting creative for being creative, and our ideas lacked purpose. We had devolved from an innovative creations company into a packaged goods company that made toys. Everybody, from kids to competitors to Wall Street, noticed. Our brands lost relevance. Mattel lost its way. Our performance really suffered. We were in tough shape, and now we were forced to need and to think of a totally new way forward. And I believe that the most valuable form of invention is the reinvention, the rapid reinvention of Mattel and its valuable, recognized portfolio of brands. And that meant Mattel had to follow a very new and different path. We needed to question everything that we were doing. We needed to embrace uncertainty and question and relentlessly experiment. We needed to put results before the process, break down barriers to collaborate and share and create as never before. Now, we first applied this prescription to Barbie because we had no greater reinvention challenge, and we have so much at stake. Barbie had long been one of the biggest and most valuable kid brands in the world, but quarter upon quarter of decline had been devastating. The Barbie brand had simply lost its purpose. Over time, the Barbie empowerment message had become too broad and unfocused. Not knowing what Barbie stood for and didn't stand for made brand decision-making subjective and inconsistent. We needed to reboot Barbie and disrupt the category that we created without losing the things that made the brand great in the first place. And we began by listening to our consumer, carefully, to kids, to moms, to culture. People talk about Barbie. We knew that there was purpose and empowerment inherent in her DNA. The critical challenge was making those ideas relevant, and relevant to girls today, 57 years later, with the same idea. Rapid relevance was the only way out. Barbie had to suddenly and meaningfully engage and re-engage in the everyday consciousness of girls and moms in record speed. For Barbie to succeed, girls had to love her again. And moms, they needed to like her a bit more. We developed a very ambitious, strategic plan for the reinvention of the Barbie brand. We began with big, meaningful changes that were relatively simple to execute, and one which signaled the biggest change to come. We introduced a diversity revolution. More than 20 new Barbies representing the brand's widest range of skin tones, hair textures, styles, and facial features to date. This was a far cry from the Barbies of dated ethnic old. These dolls reflect the wonderful and complex world that girls experience and see today. They look more relevant than ever. Is that a fan? I'll take that. I'll take that. That was the first step. Then we also introduced what seems kind of like not a big deal, a flexible foot. A flexible foot. It liberated Barbie from high heels. I mean, these are moments. And this continued to further contemporize the brand while adding a whole new form of fashion and play for girls. Next, we provoked another really important cultural conversation. Since the beginning, girls always told us, Barbie's my best friend. But the number one request that girls had in our research was, I'd love her to talk back to me. I tell her everything, she tells me nothing. How could she talk? And so we sat around and we said, well, we're all talking to Siri and the growing number of other products. Why can't we engage Barbie in a conversation? Now was the time. We introduced Hello Barbie. This product introduction had the desired effect. It created a cultural ripple and further contemporized the brand even more, including this cover story in the New York Times Magazine that referred to Hello Barbie as the most advanced of a new generation of artificially intelligent toys. We had, in effect, created brand content through product innovation. We then, with the energy that we had from our product breakthroughs, by leveraging content as Mattel had never done before, moms had become increasingly critical as a decision-making decision purchase, and we sought to engage them in what was Barbie really about. Not just her body, not just all the different things that are aesthetic, but what is the value of Barbie's play? We reframed the entire conversation, again, delicately, without reinventing the brand. Let's take a look at the work.
Hello, my name is Gwendid, and I'll be your professor today. And I will be talking about the brain.
Hi.
Hello, I'm your veterinarian today.
You're kidding.
Nope, I'm Dr. Brooklyn. See?
Okay, doctor.
Oh, here, let me see. Good morning, everyone. I'm your new coach. My name is Maddie. Nice to meet you. I had the most fantastic day in the office. You'll never believe what happened. We got that new business I wanted. You ever seen him fly?
Have you seen him what?
Fly?
No.
My cat can fly.
Okay.
The dog's brain can't think as much as the human's brain because there's no high school for the dog. This is Peter, the Triceratops. Peter is 1 year old. The T-Rex, Sally, is 1,002,252 years old. Knees up like a unicorn. Higher, higher. I've been to New York, Transylvania, Pennsylvania. We can think and do lots of stuff with our brain. Now, does anybody know how big the brain is? Anybody? Sophia. It is medium. Medium? Very good.
We love that. The success of this short film had dramatic impact on the perceptions of our brand. Now, here was a company that I have said has been built on 30-second commercials for years, achieving its greatest marketing success and boldest move in social media. This major perceptual shift has enabled us and encouraged us to go forward with the boldest and most disruptive component of our plan, which involved changing the fundamental appearance of one of the world's most iconic products. You're all aware, painfully, that Barbie's figure has been a source of controversy and concern among some moms. And Mattel's silence on the subject was often perceived as resistance. The reality was that Mattel understood. We even sympathized with the concern that moms had. But the fear of making a mistake, of messing up the most popular toy ever, led to silence and inaction. And now, with our new, bold, creative transformation, we were determined to take this head on and do so thoughtfully. Extensive research, data, including many, many conversations with kids and moms, led to the important insights, and these insights led to action. Unless you've been living on a remote island, you know that Barbie now, for the first time ever, has multiple body shapes, with curvy, tall, and petites joining the classic and original doll. The cultural significance of this warranted a Time magazine cover story, a vast amount of coverage, and untold millions of exchanges around the topic worldwide. And for the first time, Barbie was a trending topic on Yahoo. This is content that money just can't buy. Creative, bold decisions that have sparked a cultural conversation that's changing the perceptions of the brand. And Barbie and Mattel are leading once again.
It's
It's important for Barbies to look different. You know, like the real people in the world.
The world around us and an expansion on beauty.
Yes.
I love it.
A lot of good stuff happening on the Barbie brand. So you'll hear a lot more about Barbie in the coming years, and I think her best days are ahead of her. But elsewhere at Mattel, there are epic transformations underway. Fisher-Price, Hot Wheels, American Girl, Monster High, Thomas the Tank Engine, Bob the Builder, Polly Pocket, and yes, coming soon, Barney the Purple Dinosaur. We're applying this prescription, this individualized reinvention formula, to accelerate every brand and create a new culture at Mattel that emphasizes creative sharing, global ideation, and speed. Core brands like Barbie and the foundation of our business and continuous innovation is necessary for those brands to maintain relevance. But a different kind of innovation drives another major component of our business. Being a leader in this fast-moving, ever-changing industry required the creation of an all-new innovation engine within Mattel, and we call it the Toy Box. Inspired by the open-to-all suggestion box of the Mattel Garage early days, the Toy Box believes that the greatest idea can come from anyone, anywhere, at any time. Today's Toy Box is a culture within a culture that encourages us to work and create more entrepreneurially than ever before. Toy Box has accelerated our rebirth as a creations company by putting design and creative first, thinking smarter, working faster, and eliminating the barriers, instilling new purpose in our work and our brands, driving for those big, quick wins and consistently achieving them. This new perspective has inspired us to revisit and reimagine many of the legacy brands and products throughout our amazing portfolio, and here are just a few examples. The ViewMaster was the original mashup play and learning device, which took kids anywhere around the world through the visual experience. If there was ever a brand for the emerging world of virtual reality, this is it. Innovative collaborations, as you recall, with Walt have long enabled Mattel Creations to achieve their fullest potential. And now, with partnership with Google, has reinvented ViewMaster as a state-of-the-art virtual reality learning tool. For decades, Fisher-Price has taught kids basic skills through assembling their own toys. Today, we're emphasizing invention to add valuable new dimensions to the idea of early childhood development and the purpose of the brand. For example, the revolutionary Codapillar introduces kids to programming with a toy that can be reassembled in a vast number of ways to create different actions and effects. This one's really good. Based on the insight of millennial moms, what they were talking about in the context of their baby gear and their high chair was as simple as, it's always a mess. I can't clean it. I wish there was a better way of cleaning the high chair. From a design-led innovative idea based on insights, we're now introducing the first high chair that can be easily disassembled and cleaned in the dishwasher. Simple, innovative. Moms out there are cheering, I know it. This is one of those items. That we believe in the co-creation idea, and we believe that kids are going to be obsessed with 3D printing. This will be an increasingly important facet of our business. And here, too, we had a brand that was ahead of its time and could reinvent it to its fullest potential with the help of another exceptional partner. Working with Autodesk, the Mattel ThingMaker is now a 3D machine that allows kids to create and print an amazing range of individualized toys. You could pre-order right now on thingmaker.com. Now, I'm sure many of you grew up today with Hot Wheels. It has been, I have a couple Hot Wheels guys, yeah, they got front row Hot Wheels. An amazing, successful brand for almost 50 years, and we're taking it into new directions to grow it even faster and further. Hot Wheels has always represented the coolest cars, but today we're incorporating pop culture into car play, like this Star Wars Stormtrooper character in vehicle play, doing extraordinarily well. You're going to see a lot more partnerships of vehicle play with pop culture and Hot Wheels, and that's only part of the Hot Wheels story. We're encouraging boys to be more imaginative with Hot Wheels than ever, inviting them to create their own unique ways to play with Hot Wheels. We used to be prescriptive about it. Here's the kit, set it up this way, and play this way. Now, we're encouraging kids to create on their own and do amazing things with Hot Wheels that are epic. Let's take a look.
Let's build some track.
Yeah!
This entire thing is our engine.
Cool. Those are only a few examples of the renewed spirit of Mattel Garage at its best. But they're evidence of how we're changing the fundamentals at Mattel, creating a fast-paced democracy of ideas that welcomes brilliance from partners, inventors, and people throughout our organization and the world. What's the next big leap in Mattel's continued transformation? Well, most of our plans obviously are pretty secret for now, but this much I could share with you. We're reestablishing ourselves as a creations company that inspires the wonder of childhood. Not just a toy company, but the original creations company, by instilling purpose in our brands and connecting the brand experiences to each other in valuable ways. Imagine, based on our portfolio and the power that we have today in technology and data, how we can become a child development company like no other. We want to create valuable relationships with kids and families that transcend our brands and our products. The portfolio, the technology, and the determination exist to add new dimensions to Mattel as the creations company we once were.
There is a place most magical, where planes and trains and cars can talk, and everyone can fly. Where anyone can be a hero or a princess, or both at the very same time. Where dreams come true, and wishes are things you grant to yourself. There is a place most magical, and everyone gets to live there, if only for a little while. It has a name, this magic place. It is the land called childhood. And at Mattel, we go there every day. Because we are a creations company, inspiring the wonder of childhood. We lead at play, learning, and development. So let's make every precious moment count. Every playtime, bath time, and bedtime. Let's give them heroes and friends who will keep their secrets and return their love. Let's feed their imaginations and make sure they get their recommended daily allowance of wonder. We are Mattel, and we believe in helping kids be kids so they can grow before they grow up. We believe in a land called childhood. It is a place most magical, and we go there every day.
Thank you. We take it pretty seriously, and playing and having fun and stimulating imaginations around the world are Mattel's purpose. Make no doubt about it, we are a big business, we're a public company, we have all the challenges that all of you have in the context of staying relevant, but our portfolio is purposeful. We engage in memories in people's lives, and we're an instrumental part of hopefully many of your lives and many of your kids' lives, and we take that responsibility really seriously. We're purposeful. We think that the idea of stimulating kids' imaginations and developing that sense of wonder is a magical and special place, that we're very lucky in terms of managing the future of a legendary company like Mattel. I thank you all for your time and look forward to having all of you engage in all of our products as we move forward in the next generation of amazing creations coming out of Mattel. Thank you so much.